How would your life be different if you had the tools to heal many diseases that came your way without relying on doctors? Let's start by imagining two different bedrooms. One is a child's bedroom, mine as a child. It's lined with posters, and they're not your typical posters of boy bands or celebrities. They're motivational quotes and sayings placed on backgrounds of beautiful art. At any given time, I had anywhere from 8 to 15 posters on my wall, and they served as a constant reminder to me that I had dreams and a purpose for living. Now let's jump about 20 years into the future to a completely different bedroom, also mine. My belongings were packed in boxes, and I was staring at an empty wall, not moving and not thinking, frankly, because it hurt too much to move or to think. And I was terribly depressed. My stuff was packed because my home was foreclosed on. I declared bankruptcy after losing my job, marriage, and my health. And in those fleeting moments to where I could think without being in pain, all that came to mind were two questions. What do I do from here? And how on earth did I get here? You see, I had been diagnosed with fibromyalgia, and for me, it was debilitating. My life was no longer recognizable at all. I went from being a mom, a hard-working research scientist in cancer immunology, to barely being able to move or function without pain. So, what do I do from here? Take meds, right? Wrong. It turns out that no conventional medical approach worked for me. Every single approach in medicine my doctor tried actually made me worse. And let me just say that that was a huge slap in the face to me after having devoted my whole life to science and medical research. I didn't know it at the time, but I wasn't alone. Many people don't find help when they see a doctor. For example, statistics from the World Health Organization show that 88% of deaths every year are attributed to non-communicable diseases in high-income earning countries like the United States, and that most all of these non-communicable diseases are due to lifestyle choices. This makes doctors less effective and sometimes completely ineffective in managing nearly 90% of non-communicable diseases. This really got me to thinking about why. Why do people make choices in their life that cause them to get sick, or worse yet, to stay sick? And somehow it felt connected to people not being happy or fulfilled in their life. This led me to my own theory about health. What if the source of well-being isn't in the physical body at all, but is in living your life's purpose and being happy? What if physical and mental health is merely a byproduct of living your life's purpose? I had no idea how I was going to prove this at the time, but I was determined to find a connection. After hitting rock bottom, I quickly realized that my two questions, what do I do from here, and how did I get here, were intertwined with each other. You see, my childhood dream was to heal people. I had always wanted to find cures for incurable diseases, and I had been taught that pursuing a career in science or medicine were the only ways to go about doing that, because Western medicine is seen as a solution to all of our ills. At least that's what we're taught to believe. A friend of mine suggested that I look into practices related to mind, body, and spirit balance. And this led me to first learn about self-inquiry and the importance of looking within myself to find the answers, and not to rely exclusively on societal scripts or norms or the things that I had been taught. I then went on to learn about Ayurveda and traditional Chinese medicine, both of which use a 5-element approach to understanding life and health. The 5 elements in Ayurveda are broken down to earth, water, fire, air, and space, or in traditional Chinese medicine, earth, water, fire, metal, or wood. And these systems believe that these 5 principles are responsible for creating everything in existence. And this is where things started to get interesting. In Western medicine, when you're diagnosed with a disease, the disease itself is believed to be the problem, and the disease is targeted to be killed in what is usually a one-size-fits-all approach. In Ayurveda and traditional Chinese medicine, however, that is not the case. It is believed that when things become out of balance is when the problem persists, and that by bringing your constitution back into balance, that the disease will go away on its own. This is a vastly different paradigm than we're used to, and so it really inspired me to think about life in a different way. These systems believe that physical health is merely an outcome of maintaining balance, and that balance is different for each of us because we're all unique as individuals. So your elemental constitution actually has connections to everything that makes you unique as a person. And this is when I started to realize how purpose was connected to health and well-being. I believe that it's your life's purpose that determines the entire elemental composition you're born with. When I began to understand how interconnected everything really is, it became clear to me that God, or consciousness itself, had orchestrated the perfect harmony between your life's purpose and your unique elemental type so that you are fully supported in having the talents and gifts, the strengths and weaknesses, the personality, the temperament, and even the physical body shape and structure that will fully support you in living your life's purpose and being happy. Do you remember how I said earlier that 88% of deaths each year are due to lifestyle diseases? Well, here are some of those diseases as defined by the World Health Organization: cancer, cirrhosis or chronic liver disease, Alzheimer's, type 2 diabetes, obesity, hypertension, stroke, heart disease. We know that these diseases are attributed to our choices in life, and that people make these choices when they don't feel happy or fulfilled. So let's look directly now at how emotions are going to impact your health. The data on happiness here comes from Healthline, which references numerous scientific studies that are available in the National Library of Medicine, and you can find them online in PubMed. There is so much evidence now that supports the roles of happiness and purpose in better health. Happiness has been directly correlated with boosting immune response, with decreasing stress in the body. It may even lower cortisol levels and help to balance your hormones. People who have a strong sense of purpose in life may fare even better. There was an article January 1st of this year in the New York Times that showed how purpose and people who have a strong sense of purpose in life tend to get a better night's sleep. They tend to have fewer heart attacks, fewer strokes, a lowered risk of dementia, and even less inflammatory gene expression in the body. And not only do purpose and happiness fuel better health outcomes, negative emotions have been directly linked to a decline in health and well-being. This data on negative emotions comes directly from the American Psychological Association. Whenever you have negative feelings like stress, sorrow, guilt, anger, anxiety, these things have been correlated with killing the flora in your gut. And we know that that microbiome is directly connected now to our mental health and well-being. These negative emotions have also been shown to increase stress and anxiety in the body. They can increase cortisol and inflammation, and even decrease the body's immune response, which makes you more prone to getting ill or to staying sick. So what's the takeaway here? I believe that purpose creates happiness and better health, and that it's your life's purpose that determines the entire elemental composition that you're born with. So, since purpose is so integral to health and well-being, I would like to share 2 simple things that you can do each day to help get your life and your mindset on track to find and live your purpose. Number 1, wake up every morning before sunrise. If you do this every day for 2 weeks and you keep a journal of your feelings, I bet that you're going to see a difference in your perspective and in the things that you're able to accomplish on these days. Number 2, do at least one thing each day for yourself that you really enjoy doing, that is just for you. Maybe it's having a cup of tea in the morning. That's something that I like to do. Or maybe it's taking 15 minutes to sit with your favorite book. Whatever it is, you'll find how prioritizing happiness does wonders for making it easier to accomplish everything that you have to do in the day, even those things that you really don't enjoy doing. My aha moment about purpose really validated that no two people are going to live their purpose or find happiness in the same ways. And as such, the societal norms and expectations that we are given about how to live our lives, including some of the standardized approaches that we have towards treating disease, may do more harm than good for our overall well-being. It's up to you to know yourself and to live in accordance with what makes you happy and healthy. Not only was this an aha moment for me, it was the key to fully regaining my health. I could always tell how important purpose was, but it wasn't until I faced a health crisis of my own that I learned how to use the power of purpose to improve my health, my well-being, and my entire life. Thank you.